Hey there gang, it's Kevin. We're going to look at the Russian campaign today and go through a brief AAR. I'm just going to use these images that you're looking at up on the board here, on the screen I should say, to kind of walk you through what the situation is. You all know Operation Barbarossa, and you know the general situation, the millions of men all racing into combat with each other. The Russian campaign has a long history and background, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. We can talk about that perhaps another time. Right now we're looking at some of the setup images, and that's the Russian defense. And on turn one, we've got the Germans set up so that they can try and make as many breakthroughs in the appropriate areas as possible for Army Group North, Center, and South. The blue discs, cubes, represent the main attacks. And that's the results there of those attacks. You know, a fair to middling effort. We would have liked to have seen some more losses than this, more surrenders. When units surrender, they do not return. Those two surrendered back into the game. They're out of the replacement pool. So in the second phase of the first turn, this is the second set of attacks, and once again, pretty good job. A nice penetration up in the north there. And a fair whack of guys taken out. But we did lose 2 units. And a third was forced to surrender. Now, the Russian wouldn't normally counterattack with the Russians, but because of the situation we were in, those 2 red discs kind of showed where we had 2 Russian attacks. In the second turn, the July-August turn, there was a fairly heavy set of attacks in the south and pushing north towards Moscow. And we'll just let this scroll through a little bit. Turn 3, you can see where AGS South is, right near the Smolensk-Kiev area. The Kiev area. And around Smolensk, we're ready to battle it out there. And here we are at the end of turn 3. So, and of course General Winter shows up, so we have light mud for the 4th turn. This slows everything down for the Germans, and it really looks like the Germans are not even going to have a chance to try and get close to Moscow before the winter sets in. So the choices need to be made about how they're going to handle the first winter, whether to continue the offense, which is dangerous in this game, or indeed, as they've decided to do, kind of hunker down, kill what they can, and then if you're close to a city, you don't suffer negative effects for the turns that are winter turns in the first winter of this game. So here they are hunkered down around Kalinin, and these guys are all halved because they're not in a city for defense. These chaps all are making a rush towards Kursk to kind of consolidate around there. And you'll see the effects there of the first winter. So the forces are kind of consolidated around cities. And then in come the reinforcements for Moscow. All the guard units arrive. It makes it very challenging. I like that shot to get a long view along the rivers and the rail. Yeah. So March, April, we get light mud. That allows us to re-engage the offensive, which we do pretty aggressively. And, with mixed results. So this was an expensive, as you can see here, an expensive set of attacks, although we did capture Leningrad, taking away 2 worker replacement factors. We close in on Moscow, but to little avail because there's still a lot of forces there, and in the I think I may have made a mistake there. That's right, because I actually should not have advanced after combat, so I pulled myself back, not so I wasn't having to attack all those guys. May-June, we get May-June 42. We get clear weather and continue the offensive, trying to get around the top of Moscow there, and this is where our troubles begin. Yeah, so that attack is a 1-to-1 attack. The Soviets roll a 1, and that actually is going to kill off 3 corps of the German armor, the three best German armored units in early in 42. That combined with the other losses really set us up for a situation where the game was going to be untenable from my perspective to play out. It would take us 3 years to recoup the armor losses, I believe, or maybe 2 if I captured one of the oil fields. So with that in mind, we decided to finish the scenario, the campaign, and in actual fact, finishing up at some point in 42 is not a bad thing because we have a number of other titles, and I'm more interested right now for the chronological walkthrough in experiencing some of the early aspects of the Barbarossa campaign, and then we'll use Case Blue or something similar to examine the October through early 42, maybe June 42 time frame to experience that post-Barbarossa phase, and that'll give us a real good feel for what was going on the Eastern Front from June 41 through June 42, and then at that point we'll then stop and look at what else was going on around the world in the chronological walkthrough for World War II. So that's just a quick update for you on this scenario, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to probably play several other Barbarossa style and campaign style games for the Eastern Front, but we may not include them in the chronological walkthrough. It'll just be an East Front look at the titles that I currently own. Alright, enough of a ramble. Here we go.